All right. We have quite a couple of things to address and discuss and talk about and go into detail in regards to. So, by the way, the title is a reference to Twitter finally getting rid of Trump, which it was really disturbing to watch people celebrate that because, on the one hand, it's amusing that the website that he used more than any other one washed its hands with him. Like, you get rejected by the American people in the election, and then the website that you loved so much is like, nah, screw you too. But on the other hand, it's also very, what's a good way of saying it? Due to my own experiences with Twitter and the fact that I think a lot of the people that have been gotten rid of by that website were removed for dubious reasons. I don't really I lean more towards they shouldn't have done it, even though that's a politician I don't like. Oh, there's that non-binary person. I got the screenshots this morning of you saying that you were going to donate to every single Republican politician from now on, as long as they signed a petition banning me from being able to go to the RNC. I was so hurt, because I thought you and I had developed a connection, and for you to treat me this way, it was just so cruel. When I saw your name and that little yellow bird on there, I was like, really? That's the same person? This must be a forgery. That's going to be in my top 10 anime betrayals. Oh, on that video from, what was that, Tuesday? I had a person who commented on there, and I have this thing where the people who make the worst impressions are usually the ones I've never seen before. Like the ones that I know will just scroll across all of YouTube about some topic and then write a comment and you never see them again. So that was the only person who commented on that video who I didn't, I guess, heart the comment of, and then he got rid of his comment. I mean, hey, you know how to get hearts for me? Actually, comment more than once in a lifetime, because that's happened before. I'll do a video and it'll get some inordinate amount of views out of nowhere, like that Jimmy Dore stream I did, and the whole comment section is just people you've never seen before and won't ever see again, that are just like surfing across this website looking for videos about this man, which is even more comedic because there's a person, I'm not going to say her name, who in the last month has made like 20 different videos on Jimmy talking trash about him. There's like a running gag that all these people make videos on him and he just doesn't pay them any mind. And it's like all he wanted was forced to vote, and they turned it into this weird psychological examination of his character. So now he's like the second or third person on here that I've seen actually have a rogues gallery. Like for them to be your villain, they have to talk about you, but you don't talk about them. So those are all his villains, just writing and posting stuff every day about him. But yeah, non-binary really hurt my feelings. After non-binary signed that petition for the RNC to ban me from any of their conventions, I no longer had a I was non-binary made me have a non-heart. No, I don't know what this is anymore. Imagine disliking somebody who's just a commentator on this website like myself, and then making a whole bunch of videos about them, and then they just never respond to you. They act like you don't even exist. Even if people look up your name, they'll find that person videos along with yours right next to them, and that the person you're talking about just never acknowledges you. No, that other guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but it's It's another left-wing commentator who doesn't like Jimmy. He's made 60 videos on him. And I know because I typed in his username and I typed in Jimmy Dore and I was just like scrolling. I was like, who does that? Like, you hate this man so much, but you've got enough videos on him that if they were people, you could have what, 6, 7, 8, 9 basketball teams. I really do want to do that to a politician someday. Just like despise them so much, I just make a video about them every day. But they don't do that to politicians other than Trump. Like, you don't this guy will make 60 videos about a commentator on YouTube who has no power before they'll make 60 videos on a politician that's screwing people over every day. It's like, I don't think I make enough videos on Joe Manchin, but I got a new one coming up on him after that stupid thing that happened. And I'll give you a little sneak preview. So when we had the election, I was telling people, why do you want the Democrats to have the Senate so badly? Because every time they have it, they try to come up with a new excuse for why they can't pass something. So first it's, oh, we don't have the Senate, then you give them the Senate. Oh, we don't have enough members, and then you give them a couple more members. Oh, we still need more, and then they lose the Senate because people get tired of them and hope the other party changes something if it's in control. And it's just this never-ending cycle of excuse after excuse. And one of my commentators, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not trying to, be negative or nasty towards him, but he was like, oh, well, I hope the Democrats win the Senate because Loeffler and Perdue are awful, and then they won't have any excuses anymore. And they give them the Senate in Georgia 2-3 days later, after it looks like, because remember, Democrats campaigned on, if you vote for us, you'll get your $2,000 stimulus checks. And then Manchin in West Virginia comes out and says, yeah, I'm not doing that. So now the Democrats can't pass the thing that they campaigned for, and they're going to now use the stimulus checks as an excuse for us to wait until November of next year to put more of them in the Senate. So thanks for those 2 Georgia seats. Turned out to be totally useless. Like, people really don't recognize the scam even this late in the game. Because I remember when they had a supermajority when Obama first took over. And then they lost it in that 2010. Well, they lost the House in the 2010 midterm, and then it was, oh, we need to get the House back. We need to get the House back. It's like, you still had it for 2 years and didn't do anything. God, people really just buy into their scams, and it's like they have politicians such as Manchin who will openly be antagonistic toward the voters, and people are told to keep voting for members of their party, the Democrats, who in a lot of cases don't even support or reflect the views of the voters just because they have a D by their name. Like, both Warnock and Perdue literally, not Perdue, excuse me, Warnock and Ossoff, as far as I can tell, don't support single payer or the Green New Deal. So why the hell should I support these people who don't support anything I support? Especially when, after voting for these people who don't support anything I support, another member of their party who's even more right-wing than them outright says, no, I'm not going to help you pass this. To hell with you. Are putting more effort in yet another impeachment attempt. Well, did you see what Manchin said? That he, under no circumstance will he vote for a $2,000 stimulus check. So now they need more seats to pass that. So now we're going to have to wait until next year. At the earliest, excuse me. You didn't see Manchin's statement? Absolutely not. I will not pass $2,000 for people who have been waiting for 10 months. Not 10 months, what is it, 9, 8? The CARES Act was as good as it gets, and there's $600, and if you spent it already, that's your problem, not mine. What a pyramid scheme. Why is everything such a damn scam? Like, vote for this party that doesn't reflect your views, so they can do one. They might do one thing you like, and then you vote for their members, and then another member who you didn't vote for comes out and says, "No, we're not doing that." Right after the election, like he put that statement out either yesterday or the day before that. We just got the Democrats the Senate back, and one of them already says no, and it's the same one who over and over again lets people down, but gets to stay in office because, oh my God, I'm so afraid if the Republicans keep the Senate, so I have to put Republican light in office to make sure it doesn't happen. So Manchin has some kind of like weird plot armor. It's crazy. He's the only Democrat who can vote for Barr for Attorney General, for Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court, for I mean, just like you can go down the list, and he never gets punished for it. Like no one ever says, "Let's get rid of him." Or if you do say, "Let's get rid of him," people say, "Well, he's trying to appeal to the moderates in his state." So we get to have a Democrat who votes like a Republican, so that we can have a majority that we can't even use because the Democrat who votes like a Republican isn't going to vote for any of the stuff we want to pass. Jesus. No, I can't wait to do my video on this. It'll be hilarious. Please give us a majority in the Senate. Pretty please. One, because they campaigned about supporting stimulus and dropped the woke garbage. Okay, I'm not trying to discuss the merits of whether their victories were from what they campaigned for. What I'm saying to you is that they were part of a party, because it wasn't just them. It was they were the candidates, but you had a party that campaigned on, we are going to increase the amount you will get in your stimulus check to $2,000. Right after they win, you have a Democratic senator coming out and saying, and remember, they need every Democrat to vote for this so Harris can break the tie. Oh no, we're not doing that. That's why I'm calling it a scam. Like they campaign for something, and then their members of their own party go, "No, I'm going to fight this. I'm not going to support it." So I said the two-party system has really made people turn their brains off. It's because they're greedy. Well, you can say that, but again, it's like you guys literally campaigned for these people. You made them win, and then they stab you in the back right after they win. Yeah, and that's not really working out for them. Like they really have nothing to celebrate for. They got destroyed in the actual Senate races 2 months ago, and they almost lost the House. Like think how crazy it is. The Republicans kept the House for 4 straight elections between 2010 to 2018, and then one election after they get the House back, they're almost losing it again. I was actually speaking to somebody before the stream started who lives in another country, and he didn't know that the Democrats had the House for 42 years between 52 and 94. And I was explaining how ever since then it's been this thing of just flipping back and forth. But it used to be like a pipe dream of Republicans to actually get the House back. Like they just gave up at one point. And now that like you can't even keep the House for more than a couple of years because people just keep switching back and forth between both parties. There are a lot of people who don't know that, by the way. Imagine the Republicans at the House for 40 years. And then every year the Democrats are like, we're going to get it back eventually. Oh, I'm afraid to say that word. Half of liberal discourse about current events. Well, if you notice, it seems like when people are antagonistic to them, nobody really cares. Like, yeah, you'll have a lot of liberals who will get mad at somebody misgendering a person or calling them by pronouns they don't like, whatever. But if you go and look on this website, like if you go to Ben Shapiro's channel, all the videos he does about them get more likes than downvotes, and it's like comment sections filled with people who seem to agree with his sentiments. So I think it's a waste of time to focus. Like the only time I ever did a video about an issue with them is when Trump banned them from serving in the military, because I thought that was stupid. It's like you got less than 1% of all Americans even wanting to participate in that banana warfare crap, and then you exclude even more of them from being able to participate. But yeah, outside of that, I haven't talked about them at all. Yeah, that's a little bit of a sad truth about LGBT issues, that a lot of people want to, I guess, feel better and think that the U.S. is so progressive, but then as late as 4 years ago, they voted for a president that didn't support, like really any of them at all, like any of those issues. It's just not as big of a deal as people try to make it seem. It's just sad that Manchin gets to keep getting away with being just the worst senator out of everybody, and nobody seems to get that mad for that long. The problem is that they focus too much on socioeconomic issues when those issues would be solved by policy changes. Well, that's another thing that a lot of them that run for office don't even actually tell you what they support. Like that's on both sides. You have a lot of Republicans who are talking about the socialist takeover of the U.S. after a moderate got elected president. So it's like, what? But even if they thought there was going to be a socialist takeover, they don't tell you what is going to supposedly to be done that will destroy America. Like it's just a bunch of red scared BS. No, this is absolutely insane. Let me vote for this political party that doesn't support anything I support, and that basically uses my vote as a way to put a bunch of politicians I don't like in office because the numbers game. And then after they don't do what I want, I'm supposed to act surprised and vote for them again. I'm really glad I did that video on Murkowski last week when it came out yesterday, because I didn't expect her to call for when that was recorded. We had no idea they were going to do that on the Capitol. So I'm already predicting she's going to get screwed with by more and more Republicans in the next 2 years as her reelection kicks off. It's all a ruse. It's a big scam. It's just funny. People are really celebrating somebody getting banned off of Twitter. Like that doesn't happen every day. That's been gone. I haven't had that thing on for like it still works. If you click it, it will add one to there. That thing's long gone. That thing disappeared 2 years ago, and it's never coming back. Banning Trump from Twitter and filing impeachment is the worst thing they could have done. They are martyring him. They should have just let him go quietly. Yeah, I don't understand the point of an impeachment that apparently isn't even going to make it to the Senate this time around anyway. Especially if you've already done it once and he's going to be out of office. Like that's why it seems more like a symbolic thing than actually, you know, some new level of low that he's reached. Oh yeah, he'll be running his mouth after his term is over. I don't expect him to hush at any point. They are trying to stain the Republican Party. I think they've done that to themselves for a while. My favorite thing ever was watching all of the like during that Amy Coney Barrett nomination fiasco, where they would play clips of Republicans saying, if there's a presidential election, they should let the person who wins the election decide. And then they play a clip of the person 4 years later. Well, I think the current president should put this just openly hypocritical. Like nobody even cares anymore. They like whatever. I'm pretty sure that Ilhan Omar made a statement about Democrats pushing impeachment even before the DC storm. And yeah, no, they just had a perfect collection of videos of just I can name like 5 or 6 or 7 people that they had that with. Like they had Cruz saying that the next president should decide who should replace Antonin Scalia, and then well, the current president should decide the nomination because the Republicans have, just over and over contradictions and hypocrisy. They should have just let him blow his steam until Biden was inaugurated. Yeah, I don't know why they're even bothering with this, but whatever. I think it's going to end up the exact same way as the last one, where either no Republicans vote to get rid of him so he stays in office, or maybe like 1 or 2 and that's it. But a lot of them do have to gain with them. So they've talked about how if he actually does get thrown out, he can't run for anything again, which would help a lot of them because there's been talk of him wanting to run in 2024. So you might see some who vote against him to help themselves in that primary in 4 years, or I guess 3 years at this point. Yeah, Antifa's just another group they mentioned that Red Scare people. I don't take them seriously. All I saw was MAGA hats. Plus, why would left wing people even have a problem? Like, wouldn't they have wanted Trump to lose? Why would they why would they storm the building to, I guess, prevent or delay him from being certified the non victor of the elections? So I said people don't even care. They just say whatever. No, I'm done. I don't even like on Twitter. I just ignore all the messages that are written on there, except for the people I thumb up and keep it moving. There are too many conspiracy theories for my taste. People came up there to cosplay as Republicans to make us look bad. Yeah. This is here. Non-binary. Did you have anything to add on that video on Tuesday? Any comments or statements you'd like to make that you didn't make in your comment? Because you do owe people your talents, according to my detractors. They need to be accountable for their actions and stop blaming others when they act naughty. Remember, they say that the liberals are the ones who don't have any responsibility for themselves, and then they're like blaming everything and everybody except the people who showed up and acted like this was Call of Duty and started smashing buildings and jumping through windows. No, remember your comment where they're like they deserve your talents. Remember that? That they're entitled to whatever skill set you supposedly have or don't have or whatever. It's really loud out there. Yeah, this second impeachment that people are talking about is just grandstanding. Just like all the ones that were resigning, after the Wednesday crap. Like, who resigns a couple of days before their term ends outside of someone who's grandstanding? I was so appalled at this event that happened 10 days before I would have lost my damn job anyway, so I'm out. Hell, I would give Barr more credit because at least he resigned before this happened. So it didn't look like he was trying to save face. Liberals said the same thing last year during the BLM protest. Oh, I don't even want to get started with them. That it was actually secret right-wing people who were destroying cities. Yeah, there's a lot of looting and rioting that happens when somebody gets shot. Hell, if you tried to say that the virus spread from people walking around without masks, but they were protesting, you got told that you were being racist. So I just said to hell with it. That's why I don't talk about anything with that group anymore. Because there's just too much animosity for anyone who doesn't have the same opinion as them. I did a video about that group, I think 4 years ago, and that was it. I washed my hands of them. It was just the sarcastic comments about how talents don't mean. Well, yeah, they try to. What it is that they give you this advice, and then they try to insinuate that doing this will automatically make this magic broad descend from the sky and save you. Well, again, I already summed up my view on BLM. If I'm unemployed, nobody cares, nobody riots. Yeah, nothing. If I can't go to school, nobody cares, nobody riots. But if I get shot by a cop, oh, it's time to go out marching and protesting. We didn't care about you when you were struggling daily with whatever was afflicting you, but now this officer has shot you. We now magically are so concerned about your well-being. Even people who support that group admitted that's what they do. So I don't feel bad about saying that, but I know it's the truth. Let me see what else is here. I see Vince stopped commenting. He must have given up. He threw in the towel. They don't want any cops, so when the cops are not around, they cry, "Where are the cops?" Yeah, I don't like when they were talking about the origins of police. I don't know who's going to replace them. Atlanta is seeking private contractors to make up for the defunct. Oh my God. Someone who's even less accountable than public officials. Imagine, hey, you know what? Imagine you like call for help, like you call 911, and then a tank shows up outside of your house. Some dudes in those little green hats and fatigues. Where is she? Like instead of the police, we have like the Navy and the Army and the Air Force. You call 911, and there's a little jet that pops up in the background, and soldiers start jumping out of it. Was somebody's house being broken into? So I say I just think a lot of these positions aren't well thought out. It's just people being reactionary. Again, if you say anything that they don't agree with, your 99 different awful terms, you can literally just ask a question about how this will be executed, and they'll get mad at you. Yeah, the police. Yeah, the advice never makes sense. You might as well tell me to blink 3 times and wish upon a star. And the next thing they're gonna say is you have to click your heels for a hoe. That's gonna be the next piece of advice. No, I don't take them seriously. They just write a bunch of stupid stuff. You have no skills that require talent. It's not like you do a show that you draw all the stuff out for and you write and you direct and you edit. That doesn't require talent. And I'm so smart, I can't look at your playlist and figure out that that's something you made. So like I don't know what it is, but people online really get off on trying to like cyberbully somebody. It's really insane. Oh, there's YouTube notifying me that I'm streaming. They have to notify me of my own stream. They think if I don't go on my email and see them tell me, I'll forget. I mean, that's what they are. They say goofy things that I laugh at from their keyboard. What term would you use to describe them? What else are they other than a double C? Like their whole premise is weird. You're a man who gets mad at another man for talking about chicks. That's why I said it's like imagine if I did videos saying I wasn't going to go to McDonald's anymore, and then Burger King started sending me death threats. Like it has nothing to do with you. Like why are you this concerned about it? And then you give unsolicited advice that the person didn't ask for, that demeans them a lot of times as a human being, and then you're surprised when they ignore you and don't want to listen to you. Those are just sad people, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't understand the logic of you apparently know what to do when it comes to chicks, so you're gonna scour the internet looking for videos from people that don't know how to get with one. Again, that's like me as an artist looking for drawing tutorials after believing in my ability to draw. It's a nice little contradiction. Or when they come to your video and tell you to focus on something besides getting with the broad, but then They only could have found that video if they went out looking for stuff on Getting With One. That's like me going to a river and telling somebody to focus on stuff besides the water. It's like I couldn't have not come here if I weren't focused on getting around the water myself. Self-appointed internet life coaches. That is accurate, but you see, the thing with them is they give this life-affirming advice that is only being sent or directed your way over a woman. So I always think they should, if you want to say coaches, you should say like, I don't know, the romance aficionados or something, just that denotes that all of their advice is about trying to get you to have a problem with yourself because of a broad. Yeah, this whole situation is crazy as hell. They're really out of their minds. I'm very ashamed to be on the same website as them. It's a disaster that I have to occupy the same plane of existence as people who just do all these contradictory things that don't make sense to me. Yeah, 9 people, nobody wants to type anything. That's crazy. It's been a really slow chat for some reason. I don't know what happened. I did consult my best friend, so he might show up on another stream. He's very busy, so we'll get around to doing that eventually. I don't know when he's coming back over here to California, but when he does, I'll see if we can set something up so we can get the sequel, the long awaited 2 years in the making return stream. Oh, he got a real kick out of that stream I did on what was it, World Without Heroes 2, where the guy was like, "I'm invested in your growth. That's why I'm going to harass you for 30 minutes." Because we were talking about that yesterday and how ridiculous it was for someone to, vanish from a person's channel and then, claim that they're so concerned about them after not showing up on any of their stuff for, what is that, a fifth of a decade? That's how long 2 years is. It's crazy that people can actually type stuff like that and believe in it too. I'm so concerned about this person, I don't comment on any of the stuff of or try to watch any of the crap. And how I equated that to like the relationships you have with chicks where they're one sided, where you're doing all this stuff to appeal to this person, and then their appeal is daring to bless you with being able to speak to them. Those one sided. I want to do a video on that one sided relationships. Yeah, you don't. Not only do you not know me, but it's like this is a website where people have donated to me and shown up and like commented on stuff, recurringly. And you're a person who subscribed to me 2 years ago and then vanished. And then you run your mouth for half an hour on a stream, and I'm supposed to now believe you're so concerned about me. If you believe a person like that's concerned about me, I've got a bridge to sell you. Hell, I'd sooner believe that there was a ninth planet over That person caring about me. That they were wrong about Pluto. It really is a planet. A non-binary, imagine if real life was like that. You had a kid, and then for the first 2 years of their life, you don't come around them, you don't buy them anything, you don't take care of them at all, and then you show up for half an hour one day. I'm invested in your growth. That's why I vanished for 2 years. Oh, he's so lucky. I didn't go in my email and like actually see that until after the stream was over because I would have said that. Damn, that was hilarious. And really disturbing that someone could actually write that and apparently believe in their own BS. There's a lot of people on this site that like to pretend they're one thing and while they do the opposite. But again, I made that point in the video that for some reason people just they really very hard try to say things that don't line up with what they actually do. That is a borderline creepy thing to write to someone you've never met before. Imagine losing sleep because of the stagnant love life of another man as you're a straight male losing sleep over that. A man you've never met before. Well, I called them creepy in the video. I said, you have people on this website who are like, I watched your video and I know how your personality is. And then we have a thing called a public persona where someone will act differently on camera from how they act in real life, and you want us to believe that you know who this person is from watching a clip of them. Or the one guy that wrote you remember that paragraph comment where he found 10 flaws in me from a 12-minute clip. By the way, that person, so I got curious and I was like, I clicked on their channel. They got banned by YouTube for abusive comments. So, and the reason that's such a big thing, and I found it so amusing, is that it's very hard to get in trouble on this website when all you do is write comments. So you can just imagine how much nasty stuff he was writing all across here. Like, I really can't think of many people besides him that have been banned just for writing comments. So I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, there's a real creepy overtone with a lot of this stuff. And a lot of homoerotic subtext. Because again, the whole thing is men who are upset with another man for romantic decisions that don't affect them if they're supposedly straight. So it's all really creepy and disturbing, but I'm not too surprised. I just think people online are really nasty for no reason. I mean, the title says it all. That's like a running gag where there's these people that I guess I'll show up in the recommended of, and then they'll write a comment saying, how did I get here? This stream just crashed into my computer and I was forced to watch. Because I get recommended to a lot of people I've never seen before, and they just, I just don't watch them. I might sometimes, but even if I didn't like what they were saying, I wouldn't act as if I'm so desperately confused. Well, it might be, But at least that would make more sense because you could interpret it as it affecting them. See what I mean? Imagine if YouTube actually did that, where you're on like the front page, and then a stream just crashes, and they force you to watch it. Like you try to click off, and then all the like other videos vanish from the screen. It auto forces you to watch. But again, it's like every other stream, somebody writes something weird, so I'll just leave that there. Because apparently YouTube crashed into his browser and made him check me out. I've actually had that comment where like, why is this in my recommended? YouTube, I watched the video, get this out of my recommended. It's like you're on my thing on a website that I don't control telling me about the recommended that you have, which only recommends videos based off of what they know you watch. Like if I watch nothing but movie reviews, I can't expect them to send me a video about cheeseburgers. It's just, that's why I said people on here always act so confused and bewildered and unable to figure something out when it's all self-explanatory. No, I can't remember the last time on one of those videos I had a woman actually say something. It's always men. Hey, remember the romance curse. 30% of it's talking to chicks. The other 70% is a bunch of men writing nasty stuff about you online all day. And I wouldn't even mind the nasty stuff if it actually addressed, what I said. It's a willful ignorance. Well, again, one of the reasons that they resort to attacking someone over like nebulous things such as appearance and their voice and all this other frivolous crap is because when you're not able to address the points that someone makes, you have to focus on things that are not, it's a way of saying it, relevant to the topic that is being discussed to have something to contribute, even if what you contribute doesn't actually address the points that are made. So if a woman does a video talking about her horrible time with men she's been on dates with, and I respond to it by saying, "You're ugly," I don't actually address anything she said. And I'm just, my contribution is insulting this person, which is what they do all the time. And then in the very rare instances where they actually address something you say, they get into like these weird, what's a way of saying it, non-answers, like with Birdbrim, who was like, you showed the woman too much interest. Like, okay, let's not get bogged down in the minutia of how much interest you're supposed to show. Because again, that can be interpreted in a bunch of different ways. And you're assuming that as a person who wasn't there, which is something they love doing. They love assuming that you did something wrong because it lets them feel better about something that they're unaware of or they're ignorant on. Willful ignorance. No, I think it's sad because I do believe people can criticize something in a productive manner, but I'm just not seeing it. And when you insult them back, they act shocked that you would insult them. Yeah, but it's like people throwing stones but living in a glass house. Like if you watch a lot of the earlier romance stuff I didn't insult anybody. And then what happened was year after year, I would have these people talking trash about me and making nasty remarks. I'm like, okay, well, hell, I'm not going to keep biting my tongue uh, for a bunch of people who are very rude, you know? That actually is a running gag on the internet where people will attack like someone who is I don't want to say more famous, but they'll attack somebody, and then when the person responds back in turn, they like act so shocked, like, "Oh my god, how could he say this?" Like, what a sick thing. Like I said, people just they get off on antagonism. What else is here? I feel so bad for non-binary. He has to carry the chat. He's the MVP of the chat. Nobody else wants to write anything except a person who acts like they're forced to watch my stream. I just find that so weird. But again, the internet has a lot of. That's what happens when you have websites that don't have an IQ test. They just let anybody show up on here. No, not you. The person that wrote a comment like three above the one that non-binary did, where he act like the stream just crashed into his front page on YouTube. And that's like the fourth or fifth time I've had one of them do that, where they comment, "Why is this in my recommended? How did I end up here?" As if someone's making them watch. Like they didn't manually click on the button to get over here. That's probably the second most obnoxious thing, other than when people like will announce that they're unsubbing from you, which I always found hilarious because whenever I unsubscribe from someone, I just unsubscribe. I don't need to give like a resignation speech. I was just busy on Facebook laughing at these goofy MAGA hats. Yeah, I didn't even know people still use Facebook. Like I had somebody else talking about being on there yesterday. I was like, oh, this website is making a comeback. Because I kept getting told that it was dying, that Instagram's the only one that's growing, that's like getting larger and larger. So apparently I was incorrect. Oh, my damn phone would charge. But yeah, in response to people that announced they're not gonna be subscribed anymore, I'm gonna recite what this one guy said 2 years ago when he got into a Discord argument with a person who said that he was one of his fans. Someone mail me a box of tissues, a pussy unsubbed, I'ma quit. I love how he typed it in cap locks as if he was screaming, like demanding that someone just sends him this box of tissue. And he has 600,000 subs. I always just, because he doesn't like people acknowledging the stuff he's done on Discord. I wish somebody would pay him a super chat so he could like yell that line out in like in his voice. I'll make sure I properly recited it. No, that was one of my favorite Discord. Like I hate that website because of some of the stuff from that's been posted on there. But I really I just love that argument. It was so funny. Talking about you, not even God loves you, and you're too dumb to be a doctor. Enjoy your janitorial career, fam. So like, what's wrong with you? Somebody said they didn't like your video, and you're going to talk about they're going to never achieve anything. Just relax. Do I have any of those comments saved? I think what happened was I turned off my email notifications, which I used to get when people would comment. So I might not have what they wrote. Let's see. Oh, that really sucks. Yeah, I don't think I have it. But I've had like two people do that. Because again, most people when they stop watching somebody will just stop watching them. Hell, a lot of people who stop watching a person, it seems that they don't even unsub. Because if you go on TYT's channel, they have 4 million subscribers and usually might break 100,000. So I just find it really comedic that they like I can't remember the last time they had a video with 1 million views, which still would only be a quarter of their subs watching them. I was called weak and thin-skinned by someone who earlier got mad at another person for using a homophobic slur. Well, again, that's a running gag where like they say offensive stuff, but then they get mad when other people say offensive stuff. Like I've seen at least 3 or 4 different instances where people will try to get mad at me for being mean or whatever in a video. Like that's literally a side effect of being screwed with on here. It's like you can't keep demanding that someone be polite and nice and then treating them like trash as a collective. People get to tell you that you're gonna molest somebody and blow up a building and all this other crap, and then you're supposed to go, well, I personally would agree to disagree with your assessment. No, to hell with that. They're an idiot. I mean, if they're not ashamed to make these baseless allegations against you, I don't understand why you have to, tone yourself down and act nice to people who seem hell bent on trying to, I guess, frame you in some gross manner. It's really sad that people associate violence with people who don't have a spouse or a date or whatever, because there's a lot of, I said before, a lot of people who have done violent things that have had girlfriends and wives. But again, you'll notice that a lot of those people who say stuff like that aren't really saying things that are vindicated by reality. So what when he gets offended, it's because he's delivering retribution, but when I stop responding to a chat because he's being rude, I'm weak and thin skinned. Well, remember, it's another one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situations. If you respond, oh, you're getting mad over nothing, and then if you don't respond, you're weak. Remember, it was like that on Discord. If you don't talk to chicks, you're selfish. if we talk to chicks, we're gonna accuse you of trying to get with us if you ask us how we're doing or some other non-sexual remark. I'm telling you, Discord is the only website I've seen where like everybody thinks you're trying to screw them. Like it's so creepy and crazy on there. Like I DM a whole bunch of people on Twitter, and nobody ever accused me of that. It's only Discord where that happened, where you say hello to somebody and they act like you're trying to. It's like if I was really trying to come on to someone, it would be more. What's a descriptive way to say it that's not outright? It would have more emphasis on that person as a broad than just how are you doing. I didn't like they actually twisted a remark like that into being a sexual thing. So I said people are really just insane to me. And that'd be funny. Like they always say that your video will get you. Like you do a video and then like you're running for office. Like he said this about women last year. Like I'm sorry for telling the truth. Just like with that Discord thing, I was like, I don't know what you guys are trying to accomplish. I still believe everything I said. It's funny that like they try to shame somebody for not agreeing with them, and then all they do is just reinforce that person's view. Because what ended up happening was their belief system backfired on them because they're like trying to make it sound as if you're getting a bad consequence for not speaking to broads when they then give you a bad consequence for speaking to them as well. So you literally made it to where there's no incentive to talk to them, and you actually have more incentive to not speak to them if you're going to get accused of stuff you didn't do. So it's funny how people, even when they want to support chicks, they screw themselves over. That's really comedic to me. We'll make this person be damned if they do, damned if they don't, and then we'll still try to tell them that he picked the wrong decision when the other one is even worse. That is crazy. All right, anyone have anything else left to say? Since my chat is deader than Trump's presidency. Any further comments, statements, thoughts, theatrics, remarks for our rollout? I don't know what's so funny, non-binary. Is that a sinister, evil laugh you're doing for yourself to suggest that you were one of the people who was part of that group that was claiming that I was trying to come on to somebody by saying hello? Is that why you laughed in that unspecified manner? No, you're doing something sinister. Imagine if you have like an alt account called Binary Bad Guy, and that was your one you used for for to mess with people on Discord. I think Discord must be like the horniest website ever. Like I even said in being on that site for a year, I got more allegations made toward me than in all the years of being on YouTube combined. I mean, that's just crazy. And I said before that one of the things I hate about when people try to talk about the trauma of women is that they a lot of times obfuscate and pretend that men can't be affected by something long term that has happened to them, which again is just another commentary on how much people don't care about men. But you have this group of people who you at least approach with good intentions. You say hello to them, and then they turn around and act like that was a villainous act. And then you're supposed to still believe talking to all these people is worth your time. It's just a nice contradiction that surmises what I was talking about, or adds credence to it, rather. But yeah, people on here are just really sinister. Like seeing all of them celebrate that Trump got yanked on Twitter was really amusing. It's like you got 300,000 people dying from this disease, and then your big accomplishment during this pandemic has been getting one person knocked off a website, a website that is dying, by the way. That's the highlight of their year so far, and probably for the rest of it. Hey, remember that time we got Trump banned off of Twitter, and then the 300,000 people that died from COVID suddenly jumped out of their graves? People just have really skewed, messed up priorities. Like, you have a lot of men on here who will tell you that you should focus on taking care of a woman you've never met before over yourself, or like trying to appeal to her more than yourself, even though you're the person who has to spend all the time with you. And as far as we're aware, this woman doesn't even like you, at least not enough to go on a date. So it's just, it's really funny that, you know, so yeah, that's why I did the video, Romance Dehumanizes Man, because only men are told that they need to jump through 99 hoops and care more about someone else's opinion of them than their own opinion of themselves. Which again is really, I mean, I'll laugh at it, but it is sad that people actually want you to subscribe to that. And I'm really glad I brought up the serial killer thing, because a lot of people who peddle the like self-improvement stuff, and they never connect those two things together. Like, they're effectively saying you're worse than Hitler. I mean, for all his supposed character flaws, he had a wife. Same thing with a whole bunch of serial killers that didn't have a dollar in their pocket, but you're gonna tell me I'm the one who needs to transform, like I'm an Autobot. Go to the gym, become a millionaire, just to go on a date one night with some broad that can turn you down and stop speaking to you the day after anyway. I really do question how much of this stuff people actually believe in. I know a lot of people do believe in like talking trash about uh, someone's personality because they're not with someone, at least if they're a man anyway. But I do wonder how much of them actually, because they all have different standards of what they think a woman wants. And that's why I said trying to appeal to people online is a waste of time, because their higher opinion of you is hinged on if a woman likes you. So as long as you're not with one, they'll always find something new to attack you over, which basically means that trying to appeal to them is a never ending quest, because you're always going to have somebody who doesn't like you, or doesn't think you're good enough for whatever specific reason. Now I really want to do that real life Mary Sue video where they like try to make somebody perfect, which is impossible, but they want you to believe that you can do that. It's really crazy. Yeah, I'll try to do the Super Saiyan 4 video this week. I just didn't get around to writing the script because I would rather take my time with it and convey all my points than just rush it out for the purpose of meeting a deadline. I might still do that moral arc video. I don't know. I'm a little turned off by the amount of work that'll go into that. And then what I predict are some low viewership numbers. So thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. I'll stream again on Monday and then put videos up during the week. So that's that. Um, and again, people just are really crazy on here for some reason. They will attack you for anything.